Yo, what's up, guys? This is Brooks, and I'm here in the studio today to take you through the project of "Told You So," the track by Martin Garrix and Jax, or at least my remix of it. Ever since Martijn started playing it, I've gotten a lot of messages about it, and now especially since he played it at Ultra, I've seen a lot of people ask like how I made it, what tricks did I use, what sounds, basically how you made the track. So I figured let's just take you guys through it. So I got the project loaded up, ready to go. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and let's get to the project. All right, so let's get straight into it. The project itself, I made the drop in a different project than the break, as you can see. But I don't think there's too much important stuff to show you guys in the break. Same with the build up. It's just basically pretty basic stuff, just snares, claps, and introducing the drop. But I think there's a lot of interesting stuff going on in the drop, so that's what I want to show you today. And I'll just take you through it step by step. So yeah, obviously it sounds like this. There's a lot of, as you can see, there's a lot of layers, a lot of samples, a lot of little tricks going on. So I think it might be cool to show you guys step by step. So yeah, let's just first start with all the drums in here. So the first is a kick that I've been using for years, so it's nothing that special. I've given it away a couple times as well. Let's see if there's any processing on it. Yeah, so just a basic kick. R bass is on it, compressed it at 52 hertz. So that's kick one. I have a small reduction here in the high frequencies because I didn't really like them in the track, but that's it. And then the second one, just a little detail on the kicks, nothing special. Big clap on it, little cut there, it's cool for the rhythm. But let's start with the bass. I think that's basically by far the most interesting. So I can show you how I layered all of this. It basically consists of 3 different layers. So one is the sub, one is like the gritty sound you hear, and the third one is like a sine wave on top of it. So let's just go through all the sounds. There's pitch automation though, so it's kind of annoying. So yeah, let's see what's on the mixer. Let's just go step by step. So at first there's a layer, just a sub, Spire sub, it's a really cool sub. Yeah, once again R bass, compressed the sub. So as you can see, the threshold is at -10, a little bit of makeup, but quick attack, long release. Saturn to like distort the higher frequencies a little bit, so it's like more, it's easier to hear. Cool thing about Saturn too is you can super easily, yeah, as you can see, there's a crossover frequency, so you can decide what side of the spectrum you want to distort. So in the low end, in the sub, there's no distortion at all, and then all the high frequencies I distorted them. This is just for automation, transient processor, so the attack of the sub is a bit down, the release is a bit longer, so it holds the note a bit better. Kickstart is, yeah, basically everything. I'm not gonna click on every kickstart. But yeah, that's a sub. Then very simple, very gritty bass. Like together it sounds like this. Then I have a bass from Waiting from Love as Ultra HMI. Kind of similar as the glitch bass, but way more stereo. So you can probably, yeah, have a stereo shaper on it. It's just on my cue to cut out the subs because we already have a sub. And this is a really nice plugin from FL Studio as well. It's very easy to, yeah, just pattern to the left and right to get like a stereo effect. And as you can hear, it's already starting to sound like something. So let's see what the next layer will be. So that's layer 1, the sub and the glitch bass basically. Then we have this 3x oscillator, which is really cool. I think that's the most interesting part of the track, even though it sounds like nothing. It's basically, let's see if it's this layer. No, it's this layer. It's a couple notes above the bass line, so it was really difficult to mix, but it's not on the same notes as this layer is. So really like a lot of body, a lot of character to the sound to it, and I think this is like the main sound of the remix. It's really cool what the MIDI does as well. So if you take this for example with the kick, it's already quite there. I don't know where the kick's muted, it's probably an automation as well. But yeah, anyway, we'll just move on to keep it with the bass. And this 3x oscillator is literally just a sine wave. That's it. You can see if there's any processing on it. Cut at the low end again because we already have a sub. Decapitator. I basically use this for all the distortion anywhere I need it. This is also just for automation, and again a Trezzy processor, so I didn't really need attack on this, so I turned it completely down. Wanted it to sustain the notes, so I turned the release up, and then you already have this. And what I did there is the last part, which adds a lot of detail to it, is this Citrus like FM white noise kind of sound. It sounds really weird if you just play it by himself. You can kind of tell that it's like kind of doing different LFOs on the volume, but this really adds to that gritty kind of sound. I can show you what it just looks like. It's a very overwhelming plugin, but I think Dyro has a great tutorial on it on YouTube. So if you look up Dyro's tutorial, you can recreate this. At least that's how I did like 10 years ago, and I never stopped using the sound. And then together it's already like such a full sound. So we have the sub, the gritty bass, the sine wave, and then this sound, and that basically makes up the whole bass line. And the funny thing is with this FM white noise, it goes all over the place, but the lower you play it, the more it flutters, and then the higher up you play it, the higher up it flutters. So, and the fun part about this is, for example, it starts low here, but then it slides up to a high note. So it starts with the less fast LFO, and it rises up all the way to the top. Like I don't know if I can solo it. Yeah. So it's like all like super small, tiny details that makes the track more interesting. So yeah, that's basically. I don't know why the kick's working now, but I think this was the first part I had for the remix, and it took me a while to like really figure out what I wanted to do. Martijn told me that he wanted something in the old school Brook sound, or like the Brook sound people know me for. But this was like the beginning that I had, and really liked it. And from there on, just started to add layers and synths and whatever. So this already has so much energy, so it's really easy to, once you have that core idea, to just build from there. So let's say we just loop this, and then we'll go see what's added to it. This is a sample that I always use when I make this kind of bass. It's sounds really weird just by itself, but if you layer that on top of this bass, it just adds a lot of body. I think I did this in Like I Do as well, and that's what Martijn wanted as well. Use that as a reference, so made sense to just use the same sounds in it. It's like a growl, dubstep growl, something like that. If you add that to this. Already a lot of body. Here, backflip. This is just a white noise, by the way. Cut to the same rhythm as the bass. And if you add all of these together, stuff like that. So we'll get into all the sample details at the end. But for now, I just want to make the core stuff visible. So yeah, that's basically the low end and the bass. So let's move on to the next part. These are all cut up samples that I made. So it's sampled from this pattern. So let's first get into that. So these are just the chords from the original track, and yeah, there's not too much going on. We have one piano. Yeah, just a simple piano. And then, let's see. There's a lot of sounds here, but I think the most important one is this one. It's this synth. It's really easy to just go through here. Nothing on the processing. And this is the piano. Once again, the decapitator. If I ever need distortion, that's the one I use. Cut out the low end. Obviously, we don't really need any low end on anything else but the kick and the sub. Maybe some mid basses, but that's it. Oh, this is also the samples and stuff. But okay, yeah, this part is basically just a piano, some sauce in. So there's nothing too special going on there. And then I added a volume clip. So obviously it's playing these notes, but right before the kick I duck it, so it kind of like yeah, just makes it sound a lot better in my opinion. It flows a lot more with the bass, so there's more room for the kick to kick in. So yeah, there's all like small tricks that I used. And as you can hear, it stops here and it goes down there. Small stops again. So yeah, we have the, let's see, the bass. We have now the white noise and these chords. And let's open the kick as well. So it's already getting a lot of body, like you know what direction of the track is going already. That's the first thing that's pretty clear. And then I sampled the same synths. So for example, these are actually the keys from the original track by Martijn, and just let those follow the shape of the chords that I made basically. And I think this as well. Yeah, it's all just the piano sampled, recut again, EQ'd it, distorted it a little bit. Let's see what's on there. Oh yeah, that's kind of cool. So this automation controls this equalizer, for example. So there's the LFO kind of thing, the filter, and that adds a really cool like sound to the chords that are already playing. Really opens up, closes again, adds a lot of energy to it, especially combined with the bass and everything that's already happening there. So it's a really full track, and it was really hard to mix it, but at the end it's always worth it if you add all the sounds together. So just for the idea with the chords and the bass and the white noise and the kick and the clap. You really hear those chords opening up, closing up again. There's a lot of like movement now in the track, which is basically what we need, what we were looking for. So I see this sample, it's just probably from Splice. Oh, it's muted, so it doesn't even matter. Then we get to the lead. So yeah, basically the body of the track is done. So we have the kick, sub, the low end, the chords. And let's see if there's much else. Yeah, the samples, but we'll get into that after. It's most of the time stuff I do at the very end. So like when the basic idea is there and you're happy and satisfied with what it sounds like now, I always just sit down for an extra day to like add details, and always like turns out great. But yeah, let's jump right into the lead. So that's this one. Let's try to find where they are. Here, let's go one by one. So it's basically all Spire presets, and a lot of them aren't even made by myself, or ones that I found 10 years ago that I then saved, tweaked over the years, so they don't even sound the same anymore. But like that's what I really recommend, is just like start your own database probably. So for example, This is one of them. I guess it's in a layer. I don't think any of these sounds is like super interesting. It's mostly how I layered them. So none of these sounds by themselves sound like a cool synth, but if you add everything together, it really adds to the whole track. Especially with that sine wave that's already on the bass. You have like different melodies stacking on top of each other, which is just what adds to the fullness of the track. So let's see if there's any interesting processing. Yeah, once again a decapitator. This one's empty. Decapitator again, transient processor, so there's nothing too crazy happening. And then maybe on the layer or something. Oh yeah, a little radiator. It's a really cool plugin as well. It's just super easy for like a small distortion. Got out the low end again, compressed it a bit. Because I didn't want the transients to be too hard to deal with in the mix. This is just an audio editing plugin, so it doesn't really do anything. Fruity Balance is probably the... Let's see if it does anything. Let's probably look at this one. So once again here I used the same stops, the same tricks as in the bass. So if you do that with all the sounds, it really like makes it sound like one compact item if they all follow the same kind of movement, if that makes sense. Yeah, nothing too crazy about this lead. It's just a bunch of sauce and inspired presets. For top leads I always use Spire, so if you guys wanted to know that. One trick I can show here, for example, this is just a little perk sound. I always put that on the same timing as the notes, so your attack of the lead gets an extra little pop. It's not on the kick, obviously, because it's sidechain. It's kind of funny because if you solo it, then you really hear it really well. But if you never knew it was there, you won't even notice it. So it's all like small stuff. Let's see what this is. That's just a reverb. So I probably transferred this lead into audio and then started editing from there. It's way easier to control the reverb from there, especially when you work with so many layers. It's a lot easier to just bounce that dry, put that under the lead, and then so you don't need reverbs here. There's probably reverbs on there, but for me it's a lot easier if you need more reverb to bounce this out, automate the reverb from that sample and just completely mute the dry signal. So the whole track sounds like this, and then the reverb is just this. And as you can tell, there's also these small kind of stops in there. Let's see, it's Pro R. Distortion after the reverb, but that also adds some low frequencies that you don't want, so you cut this out again. And then the balance, as you can see, it cuts out the reverb as well, so it's gone at places you don't need it, but it is there to fill up the track. So here's the volume automation for the reverb. Did some panning here for the reverb. It's all small extra. You probably won't even notice it, but yeah, why not? Then we have this. It's probably another. Just one to add. As you can see here, the melody got too high for the sample to follow along, or it probably wouldn't have sounded nice. So from the moment it doesn't sound good anymore, I just go one octave down, especially if it's just a synth to layer it and to fill it up. It's probably around this frequency range that I wanted to fill it up, or where I heard something was missing. So when it goes up here, it wouldn't make sense to have it up here. So if you turn that one octave down, it still fills up that space in the frequencies, or the frequency spectrum, but you won't notice that this melody is going down because it's not the main lead and it's not overpowering at all. So as you can see, as you can hear here, it goes down now, but you have no idea because the main melody is still going up. And then we have the strings here from the original project again. It's on there as well. Distorted a bit, removed the lower frequencies, put it super wide in the stereo spectrum, because I probably added this stuff at the end, like, hey, what can I use to fill up the track again well, that's a good thing about a remix. There's remix stems, so I just used the sounds that were already there since it was following the same melody anyway. Once again, Fruity Balance to just automate the volume, and then a kickstart to sidechain it. And then you basically have the basis of the track. So all the stuff, the only stuff that's not there is all these samples that I added. Sounds pretty good to me. And like I said, from there on, I just started adding samples, and it takes a lot of time, but I love doing it. I'm such a sound design nerd, so I love this kind of stuff. Can be very overwhelming if you just see these samples and like, oh damn, that project looks so busy. But it's just I always see it as a puzzle basically. So I'll show you what it sounds like just the samples, and then. Pretty cool. Like I said, I love this stuff, so like I'm always just putting a full day into this kind of stuff. But I can show you through the samples. Like this is just a Vengeance samples, for example, on the first hit. Just some acid bass, nothing on it, just kickstart. Then we have this one, like a virtual riot loop. And yeah, that's just a quick tip as well. Like I always go on Splice when I don't have inspiration or something. Just go through different genres, different loops, different artists, see what they're making, see what they're releasing, see what samples they make. Even with just one this whole loop, the only thing I use is that first stab in it, layered it with the first one, and then you get this. This is an Apache. I think it's a brass. Yeah, and those three combine, and you already have a really powerful first stab. Especially it's sidechained, obviously, so with the kick something. And then with the bass, it just adds so much detail. So if you hear the first hit now, and then without all this, it's not overpowering, but you can tell that there's something there. And yeah, so I just repeated this sample, just pitched it. Then this part really adds a lot. I think this was the last part that I added, and it was like, okay, yeah, now I know where the track is going. It's the same sound, and then you have this one. Or is it not the same sound? That's similar. It's also like some acid sound. I remember that I had this in like favorited. It's just once again just a Vengeance sample. It sounds like as if there's like a distorted voice or something, like a low male voice, and linked that or like sampled that together with the drums. I really like these toms, for example. So it's like this, and I layered that with the voice, basically, or distorted acid voice kind of thing. Little low. This is an 808, but just in the middle. Just the timing of that's really cool. So if you listen to this, just these samples, that really defines the drop of the track. Oh, I pressed pause by accident. And from there on, it's just trying to add stuff, like see where it's empty, where it could be more interesting with samples. So this is just the main lead basically sampled, and timed it differently, panned it differently, and added the volume automation. So you can hear from go from left to right. And then here another stab with virtual riot. It's the same one, just pitched. Another brass sound, just layered on the bass. And then here once again the same trick. I think I even used the same tom. Yeah. It's also the same tom. Also the 808. That's that same sample that's in the first part of the drop with just some reverb from the synth. And then you basically have it. And yeah, that's basically it. I don't know if there's much more to show. I can go to the second half of the drop or this fill, for example. Let's just check that one out real quick. So first, it's just an impact. Super simple, it's just a sample. Another sample I found, like lately I've been loving to go through old Vengeance sample packs. For some reason, I'm finding so many samples that I've never used or like forgot about. And for some reason, those sounds from the past, like they've been getting more and more popular, like the old school house sounds, and those packs are insane for that. So I've just been emptying those packs into my project. So this is one. I have a parametric EQ, so an equalizer that like basically a high cut. Same with this, low cut. Panning again, so it goes from left to right. And a reverse crash here and an impact. And that's for the effects. Let's see if here's something. Yeah. Some vocals still. Oh, it's muted. Oh, the vocals are here. And Martijn's keys. The strings. Only thing that I added here, basically, that might be interesting to show is this bass. Oh, it's the FX is off. There you go. This one. So let's get into that one. See if we can find it. So basically did the same thing there for the fill as I did with the drop of the track. So as I just showed you guys, there's a bass and then a sine wave on top of that, which is what I did with this fill basically as well. So you first have the Reese bass. It's just a Reese bass that plays these notes, and then we have no, the Reese bass please. The Reese bass plays these notes, and then the sine wave plays these notes. It's a bit hard to hear now, but like pitch, yeah. So the pitch bend here from the Reese is also connected to the sine wave, so it goes like one octave up here, and then it slides down. And the cool thing is, so we have this growth beat here, and this is a volume shaper basically. So there's a really heavy gate on it, on 1/6 of a note, and basically I automated the mix of the growth beat. So here it's off, and then slowly it turns on. So the mix of the plugin goes like up and up and up. So the gate gets more and more and more active, and on top of that the filter. For the both sounds, so it's in a filter here and opens up. On top of that, it does the pitch bend, so it's like here, and then pitches up 12, slides down again, and on top of that, you have the gate that activates, so it's like stuttering more and more and more, and that all like these kind of things add once again to the details of the track. And that combined with all the fills that are here. Yeah, just really cool. Then in the second part of the track, basically just filtered out a bunch of stuff. I think the fill here is exactly the same. Didn't change, maybe some different vocal, different synths, but the main idea is the same. What I did here was just the melody, kept the first bar and the third bar, and kept that going. And that's the benefit of all these little edits and samples. So if I remove the lead here, this takes over, and it's already so complicated, so busy, that you don't really need to fill it up with another lead or whatever. So it's basically the same thing, just without the lead or muted. Added some hi-hats here. Just samples basically, nothing special here. Really cool clap there. Then on the fourth, sidechain as well, very lightly, but the ride. Let's see. Yeah, you're in environment EQ. It's probably so here I do the same thing as with the growth speed. So I EQ'd the whole group of sounds basically. Removed the high end, but if you don't fully put that on, it doesn't remove all of the high end, so it's just ducked. As you can tell here, it's like ducks a little bit, and to make room for like the vocal samples. So. This is basically the only thing I added in the second half of the drop. Probably a little Alto Boy, yeah. So first auto-tuned it because I want it to be very consistent with this particular sound, and yeah, formatted a little bit, 12 like up, and that's about it. And then you have the second part of the drop. And I think I showed everything then in the drop. I don't know what this is. Oh, that's just some atmospheres, stuff like that. And that's about it. So yeah, let me know, you guys. Let me know if you guys need anything more. Let me know down in the comments if you need more tips, if you want to see more of the project, if you want me to show the break or the build up. But I think for now the coolest parts and the most interesting stuff is in this video. So yeah, appreciate you guys for checking it out, and hope you like the track, and see you next time. So thank you.